Welcome back to Alumapalooza number 9. Make sure you watch part 1 to catch up on the videos. Happy camping.
A little bit of know-how, and after that, anyone in this room can do it.
Right. One of the biggest drawbacks with your trailer is Airstream has taken the liberty of providing you with a very nice spare tire and no way to change it. There is no tool. Tools in your vehicle will not work. The lug wrench on your car does not work on your trailer. You can't jack your trailer up with your car jack. So you have one of the tools because everybody has leveling blocks, and that's the tool you use to get the tire off the ground. So you don't need a jack, but you do need this bag.
So we put together a tire changing kit. Now I sell this in the Airstream Life store, and you can buy it from us as a pre-made kit, but you can also just put together one of these kits on your own. I don't care. I'm not trying to sell kits today. I don't have any here to sell. Okay, if you want to get one, you have to order it on the store. But I will show you what goes into the kit and why you need to have it. And of course, everybody should have a tire gauge, even if you never check your tires. You either have a tire gauge or you have a tire pressure monitoring system like the one that they're selling over in the vendor tent over there. The appropriate wrench. What we supply is this thing. It's called a breaker bar. It's basically just a big hunk of metal that helps you get the lug nuts off. We include an extension, and that just makes it easy to get to the lug nuts if you have a wheel with a deep dish. This is a 10-inch extension. You could do by with a 3 or 5-inch one. And then a socket of the appropriate size. Most late model trailers, if you've got, I can't remember what year they switched over, but certainly in the last 4 or 5 years, you have a 13/16 lug nut. Something where we adjourn to a trailer.
Yes, so we're show. Now, there's one other very important thing in Rich's kit that you won't get if you build it yourself, and that is the instructions, which is everything we're about to tell you.
Because you're going to forget all this in 2 years.
Right.
But it's 13/16. So the nice thing about this breaker bar is that if you don't have a lot of arm strength, I know a lot of people think, oh, I don't have the strength to lift the tire. You never have to lift the tire. I don't have enough strength to break the lug nuts. You don't have to do it with your arms. Put this thing on here like this. Now it flops around a little bit. Use your foot. Just stand on it. Put your body weight on it. That lug nut will come loose. You might have to bounce a little bit, but it's going to come off. All right? Use that to break the lug nuts, not your arms. You see these people, they're kneeling in the mud, because there's always mud, and they're doing this, and they can't get it off. Just don't do it the hard way. Okay, so now we've cracked all of our lug nuts. Now we need our spare tire. Oh, we've got a little mound of blocks. We're going to pull the trailer up so this wheel is raised. That means this wheel's going to hang in the air. If it doesn't hang in the air, you don't have enough blocks. Try again with a bigger stack of blocks. But you basically want to get this wheel up so that wheel is now floating free. It cannot be touching the ground or you won't be able to get it off.
What about a single axle?
Single axle, you're going to have to use a bottle jack.
Yes.
And that's something that you'll need to carry with you. Bottle jack, instead of the leveling blocks, there's jack points marked on the trailer where you can find any piece of frame, not the axle itself. So now let me show you. Right here, and if you want to come take a closer look, come on in, it's fine. All right, right here, see this cotter pin and another pin. All right, get down here. Now you got to get it out of that cage. All right, again, think about this. Don't get like this and try to pull it out. You're going to kill yourself. Instead, do what Brett's doing.
Yes, Brett.
Go to the opposite side and shove it out with your feet.
Oh.
You're in the mud.
You're in the mud. So all you're going to do is
That's
basically
why you have a towel, right?
you have to tell. Use your feet and
Work it out. Now this one, we didn't raise the tongue jack, so it's a little tight.
Right.
All the way out.
Good idea.
We had it nice and high and just slide right out. So that's how you get it out. That's also how you get it back in later.
the tire is going to just lay on the ground in that tray. You're just trying to get yourself some additional working space.
Yeah, it's a working space.
So you don't de-hitch.
You don't de-hitch, do not, because all that's going to do is eliminate a good parking brake in your vehicle. Set the parking brake on your tow vehicle, that way you know the trailer's not going to go anywhere while you're working on it.
Right, and jacking it up gives you another anchor point.
Yep.
No, so yes, definitely. When you pull the spare out, check, see that you've got
Air
in
in the spare.
And you should check your spare a couple of times a year because they do lose pressure over time.
Better if you have a double axle trailer just to tow with 3 wheels. All right, you can do that. Slowly. Don't go 75 miles an hour on the highway. Don't even go 55 on the highway. Keep it down.
We've heard stories of people towing at normal highway speeds on 3 wheels for hundreds of miles.
But it's not recommended.
So you're going to roll the tire. You don't want to pick it up. There's no reason to pick it up. It's round, it rolls. You're going to roll the tire back to your offending wheel.
And then you're going to put it on. Now the last trick that I like to show people is again, people, you got to get the tire up a couple of inches to get it on the studs that fit right there. Lifting it like this is going to kill you. It's 40 pounds, all right? I know Or more, yeah, it could be heavier. That one's probably heavier. Yeah. So instead of lifting it, we should do a trick where we sit on the ground.
You've already got your butt lifts and
Can't get any worse. And you roll the tire over your toes. And you kind of lift it with your toes and position it with your hands.
So you're not trying to do both with your arms.
Once it's on there, screw on all your lug nuts. Get them. No, don't torque your nuts yet. Get them on snug with your, just like finger tight kind of thing. Then you pull the trailer off the block. Well, don't forget to put this away, all right? Because you don't want to go dragging this around on the ground.
And lower your tongue jack.
Lower your tongue jack. Make sure everything's good. Double check everything because you're probably freaking out. Then pull it off the blocks. Then torque the nuts.
After tightening them down fairly firm with the
Yeah, this is a delicate instrument and it can be thrown out of whack. So you don't use this to remove nuts ever, okay? Always use your breaker bar. Use this only to tighten nuts. It's got a dial on it and you basically turn it to get it set to the torque rated for your wheels. If you have aluminum wheels from Airstream, the torque is usually about 110 to 120 foot-pounds. Torque the lug nuts after 25 or 50 miles, 70. What's that mean? The reason is they're not fully seated. Even though you torqued them, you got to go down the road a few miles and let that wheel kind of wiggle a little bit, and then the nuts will seem to have loosened up. What's actually happened is the wheel is seating, and now there's a little bit more room to tighten up those nuts a little bit. So check them again after 25 miles, after 50 miles, and I do it after 100 miles. Then they're fully...
Winterization. So I don't know how many people do their own winterization, but it is a pretty simple process. Point valves are gray valves and our black valve, and empty out our black tank, gray tank. Once we get those emptied up, we want to leave our gray tank open because we're going to empty out the water through the system. We want to make sure we don't fill that back up when we are purging the system. Drain the fresh water system through the gray for the fresh tank there. I usually would turn on the water pump and help pump out the water out of the fresh tank since it takes so long to drain through that little white drain plug by the tires. And then once I get that completely emptied, I turn the water pump off, and then I want to go around and open up my low point drains. So once we get all the water drained out, we can actually go through and put pressured air through the system, right? Shut out so we don't forget to do that. Once I get my black tank flushed out, I want to hook up to the city water hookup. Once I get ready to do the air, I want to take the drain plug out of the water heater. Make sure that the water heater is not on. It could be hot water in there. I don't want anybody to get burned. So if the water heater is cooled, take the drain plug out, start draining that out. You can actually open up the pop-off valve to let all the water drain out of the water heater. If you're drained out, we wanted to, if you have a model with a filter in it, we want to take the filter underneath the galley sink out and put our bypass pipe in there. So we're going to put the bypass valve or pipe inside there where the valves are. And that way we don't have to, we can save our water filter if we didn't use it that much during the summer. Actual valve, blow valve you could put into the city water hookup to connect the air compressor to. So we're going to connect the air compressor to the city water hookup. We're going to pressurize the system with air. Then we're going to go around to each faucet and open the faucet up to let the water come out. So normally I'll start at the galley, open that up till I see all the water come out, shut that off. Go to the lavvy faucet, open that up, let all the water come out. Do the shower, the exterior shower, the air coming out of each faucet. Turn the air compressor back on and blow through the low point drains as well. After I get all the water out, or antifreeze to the system. So if you want to add antifreeze to the system, we use a propylene glycol that we use that's non-toxic and no alcohol in it. So it's not hazardous to have in the water system. We sell these in the store. I'll hook that up just before the water pump, and I'll take the hose and put it in the bottle, and I'll start pumping the glycol through the system. We want to shut off the inlet and outlet valves, and we want to open up the bypass valve. So we're not filling a 6-gallon water heater through a glycol.
Yeah, you could strip the clear coat, especially the damaged clear coat off of a trailer, and then just respray it. But it's going to look like a trailer that's been resprayed.
Oh, yeah.
You should make a showroom, like a museum exhibit. You definitely want to do something on it, but it's going to be kept inside out of the elements. But anything that goes out in the elements, it's gonna oxidize and it's gonna eat it up. Metal, plastics, everything. It's like I said in the beginning, it wants to return back to its base element.
Right.
So that's what aluminum wants to go back to oxide. So that's what happens. It just corrodes real quick. It doesn't take long at all. Unless you protect it with something that seals the surface.
Yeah.
So
Airstream, and I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves down the line, starting with Marion.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Marion Slater. I'm the Director of Engineering. Some of you probably know me or have seen me previously. I was Director of Manufacturing for many, many years, and I've recently moved over, joined the product development team.
Hello, I'm McKay Featherstone. I'm blessed to head up product development, which is in Airstream is engineering and design.
Good morning, everyone. I am fortunate enough to carry my passion that I have for Airstream, for owning one over 12 years, and my passion for business to be here with this wonderful team and to be the general manager of travel trailers here at Airstream.
And my name is Rick March. I'm the general manager of our parts and service and warranty areas.
Good morning. I'm Lenny Razzo, Vice President of Sales. I'm in my just over 2 months now with the company. Been in the industry for 18 years, but excited to meet all of you this week. And if you could be nice to me this meeting, I took a ton of questions last meeting, so if you could be really nice to me this meeting.
All right, so here's the format. It's pretty open. What we're looking for is feedback on our current product. You might have an older product that's since been changed. It's okay if you don't know it's been changed, still bring it up, but we're really looking at the new product. If you have an older product and you feel like there's a feature on it that we need to add back, we want to hear that. If you have an idea of a new floor plan, if the guy or gal in here that wants the double decker, you can't do that floor plan. You're here every year. We've tried that. But some floor plans are obviously a little harder than others, but we want that feedback as well. What features do you like, not like, want to see added, what has been an annoyance, all that good stuff. And before I turn it over to you, I also want to let you know who's out here. So Heather Saylor is going to have the mic. She's going to do her best to get to everybody. She might see across the room. She's going to work her way there. And then can all the engineering group and product development please stand up? We have a bunch in the crowd. They're all here to listen and take notes as well. One thing I love about this rally is, you're on site with us, so when we go off site, like the Wally Bime rally, only a few of us can attend, but here everybody can attend. And if you've done something to your Airstream that you'd love for us to see, put one of these men or women aside and say, hey, I want to show you this, because we want to see that as well. Some of the ideas that you guys and gals have is just incredible. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over here. We had a few hands. Hopefully some of them stuck around from the last session. We're going to hit them first because we didn't get it, and then we're going to work our way across the room.
Got a couple of things. The first thing is not a design issue. I had an issue with a flat, and I would encourage you to include a trailer aid and tools to change the tire. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, I have roadside assistance. Roadside assistance arrived and they didn't have the right tools. So they tried jacking up my trailer and put a hole in the bottom. And it's one of those issues that for $100, $200 you could, and if people don't want to carry them, that's their own business. But if the roadside assistance arrives and you've got the proper tools, it makes it a lot easier, or you can change it yourself, which I do now. Anybody else have that issue?
Real quick, to answer that one issue, we do now have lug wrenches included with all the Airstreams. So
okay,
that is
great.
We have that.
That's good. The second is kind of a minor design, but I'll tell you, we have a queen bed, and we had closet doors on each side that open, and we were really having trouble. My wife has rheumatoid arthritis, getting stuff in and out of the closet. While we were here for service, one of your techs suggested we put piano hinges on those doors that open all the way, and it made a tremendous difference, and it wouldn't cost that much more to put piano hinges so they open not to 90 degrees but all the 180 degrees.
Thank you. And sir, what was this model you had again? Was it 28 or 30? 28.
One thing that I questioned, the last trip we went on, all your cabinet hinges, I see how they're manufactured so the hinge can come apart where the door can come off separate from the, I guess the cabinets attached to the unit. But there's a tab on the back to release that. When you're traveling, things can shift and it hits that tab. So we've had a couple of our cabinet faces fall off and hit the floor, and then all the stuff comes out from the inside. So I guess it's nice to be able to take that off, but it'd only be taking a couple screws off of one side to take the whole door too. So I don't know if anybody else has been having that problem, but just a thought. Apparently so.
I didn't hear any clapping. No, we actually, they make a plastic piece that fits on the end of the hinge that will lock that in place, and we can get you a few of those. If you see the guy raising his hand in the back, that's Dan Snyder. He's National Service Manager of our towable line. I think he has some in his office. We can get you a handful of those. Or anybody else that needs a few of those, we'll get you some while you're here.
And to add to that, all new product has those installed.
Okay, we think this one's 24. It's just taller and wider, and it has a slide out on the Tommy Bahama. That one should be available in September. This one that they're calling the Shorty is 19 feet. I hope the interior came out. It's kind of dark in there. It'll also be available in September. This one is the 24 foot. It's available now. We'll get the inside of that here shortly. This one is nicknamed the Shorty. I think it's 19 feet. There's no slides. Built on a Mercedes chassis. Cockpit. Sliding screen. Wet bath. Seat that turns into a bed. TV's around the corner here. Microwave. 2-burner stove. Fridge. A little more tight space in here. And this is the 24 footer. This is available now. Well, what do you think of it? It's kind of
too expensive for my blood.
So this is the slide out.
Yeah.
That and the sofa. That must be out.
It's out.
Of course, the driver's compartment.
Is this?
Does this pop up? Yeah, it must come out of the stand down there. The bar.
I guess, is this the bed? The couch?
Must be.
I think it makes out.
It must not make out.
Otherwise, it's not.
Slide is
There's
out.
a picture of it.
It's out.
Fridge.
So I guess when this is in, that couch comes.
Oh, yeah.
There's a picture of it.
Shower. Yeah. Very nice.